read what he said about why he's been silent about the war on social media. I don't follow him. I don't know how active he is.
I didn't know we cared, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, because I have a feeling about this.
I thought he was just a hipster, bum down.
He is a hipster. He said, I've been completely silent on social media because it's quite hard for me to see that we're taking an interest in this war when there have been lots of wars that we haven't been interested in. I don't know if it's because they look more like us or because it's a conflict that can affect us more directly in a financial sense or in terms of refugees. He went on to say, which I had even more of a problem with, there's complete silence on the war in Palestine. Nobody talks about it. Yemen, Iraq, now Russia won't play in the World Cup. There's things that other countries have been doing for years, and we've looked the other way. Now you have a problem because I've seen you. My thing is like this. Why don't Hector, you're
Read
not
all about it.
You're not responsible for like the we. Like, what about you? Like, maybe you don't want to take an interest in the war. Like, what does we have to do with it? I don't even know who we is. Like, who is that? Is he talking about Spanish people, British people, athletes, people under 30? Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It really just seems like you're trying to be like extra cool, like doing like the left whataboutism, like, well, nobody cared about this. But my problem with that, when he says, what about the like, there's complete silence in the war in Palestine, that bothers me a lot, because there's so many people that risk it all to be talking about Palestine. There's so many people that are talking about Palestine all the time. There's people that are there in Palestine, broadcasting, talking about what's going on, being an activist there on the ground, fighting for their rights, fighting against occupation, and people are talking about it. People talked about the war in Yemen. I don't know where you were. People talk about what's going on in Iraq. I don't know where you are, but there's this notion that is really like, this is the product of social media, and us having social media for so long. People like him think that if it's not like viral and it's like, I'm not seeing it on my timeline, then nobody's talking about it. Like, that's not the case. Like, why don't you go actually try to read the news instead of just looking on social media and then being like, well, nobody's talking about it because I didn't see it in my Explore page. I didn't see it on my Twitter timeline. So nobody's talking about it. It's not viral right now. Yeah, the war in Ukraine is viral, for so to speak. A lot of people are talking about it. It's happening right now. You have a country invaded another country. When that happens, that's a big deal. Like, it doesn't mean that because people are talking about it, like, that it's bad. No, it's just like, yeah, it's a big deal. And talking about, oh, they look like us or whatever. Hector, yeah, there's going to be refugees. You know, this is going to be somewhat controversial. But like, when the war in Syria was happening and there was a lot of refugees, not a lot of people were asking, you know, the place that got the most refugees actually was Turkey. They want to talk about like Poland and all these other, but actually the place that got the most refugees was Turkey. But these, especially guys like this, they don't want to talk about how come those refugees went west instead of east. And I'll leave it there. What you got to say?
I take back what I said earlier.
See?
I'm in accordance, because I think one of my least favorite things is these people that get like a verified check mark or like a sports athlete, and then they act like that super lib French artist that thinks like they have like their words online are like the gospel, right? Like, oh, I've been quiet all this time because I'm just expressing my disdain to the media coverage that's going on here. We just were having massive coverage when it was the discussion about Hamas and what was going on with Israel and Palestine. That was a worldwide discussion that was in the news cycle for a good amount of time. That was on the mainstream outlet, right? It was talked about everywhere. Israel was, they had the Iron Dome discussions, all this stuff was going on fairly recent. I want to say January, December, like it was fairly recent. That was like big time in the news cycle, right? And the thing is these things don't pop up or you don't get updates on them when you don't follow them. Like I I play a lot of video games. I do theater 30 hours a week. I work, and yet I'm able to go online and find all the things I want to because I genuinely care. So when you care about things, you're willing to make any amount of invested effort to do research on them. That's just how it goes. If you don't care about things, then what happens? You don't keep in the loop for it. You don't care about updates. Things you don't care about pass by, right? People you don't care about in life, you don't know what's going on with them because you don't care anymore. What's going on here, dog? You're whining. Okay. Yeah, like that's how it works. So Hector, you have a lot going on. You're walking up and down runways and your cool little fits. You're running up and down the field. You're doing your thing. Maybe you haven't been up. Maybe your feed is full of Ukraine updates because there are a lot of people dying right now, and there's an invasion going on between two massive countries. It's a horrible situation, right? And at the forepoint, everyone in the world is wondering what the hell America is going to do. That's a scary situation, right? Even in America, where I'm very safe across the ocean, every day I get concerned when there's a union address. I'm like, this is the day we're going to do some damn no-fly zone BS. It's going to be a problem, right? You never know. And at the same time, I don't say here, oh man, like I wish more coverage was shown. There is coverage. There's people who work every day for different outlets, whether you want to get some corny stuff of Al Jazeera or wherever you want to get your news reports from. There's people that every day cover what's going on in the West Bank, in the Gaza. There's people that do this for a living and they have accounts. What I do, here's some advice, Hector, is I actually follow Twitter accounts from journalists from regions I enjoy getting updates from. It's a pretty simple process. It's not hard. Yeah, maybe it's not popping up on CNN, but do you watch CNN, Hector? Is that what's going on here? Because if you do, then you might have a little bit of an issue, a little bit, right? But they still do. They still give news. Like I see stuff all the time. It's called segments, big dog.
Seriously, like there's this like there's a lot of generalization, and like I have issues with that. I feel like if you're gonna be an intellectual, like if you're really trying to be smart out here, like don't just say, oh, nobody or there nobody ever like why don't you do a little bit more, like try to be a little bit more careful with your words, because to say there's complete silence in the war in Palestine, I was at a protest last year and it was hella people out there. It was hell of us on the Palestine side and hella people on the Israel side. There was almost like 3 fights. The police, I had to like, some dude was all in me and Ahlam's face. I had to like grab him, push him. The police were there. The counter protest, it was lit. I went to a protest for Ukraine a couple weeks ago, and I want to say maximum was maybe 17 people on 4 corners on the street. So like, it's not even like you. It's not even. When you did that, it looked like you were like punching Lula in the face. So it's not even like it's like Zelensky is out here, like the president of Ukraine is out here asking people to protest for Ukraine. He just said that the other day.
He's
like,
asking for protests.
Yeah, like because it's really not out here like that.
No, it's not. Like
it's really not. So I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way because there's going to be somebody out here thinking like he's right.
Look, this is the thing I have to say. I'm not going to let you get me go crazy about this, but I have one last thing to say to this.
And that will be it. I will not respond.
You can respond. I understand you want to be this cool guy that likes to point the blame at what media is covering and what access you're getting from media. That's a very cool point. I think that the bigger issue is the attentive span of humans in news. Like why people only give invested interest for 3 days on topics or in a week. That's a bigger issue for me than what the media is giving people. The media giving people based on what the people, they're just driven on clicks and likes. They're just driven on viewership, right? Like, yeah, this is a big story, so there's going to be big updates, right? That's why things are called breaking news or big story. People like getting immediate information. That's the access they crave, right? So that's just how it goes. But you need to be careful at talking about, oh, where's the coverage for this and this and this, because people are dying. And when like people are dying, you need to understand that like it's not about who deserves favored news or not. I think that, yeah, is there some outlets that are really whack? You know who they are, Hector. You know who they are, Big Hector. I know who they are. I don't follow them. So that's just as how it goes for me. I have a journalist I like that gives cool little updates about South America, but journalist like that gives news updates, and another one that gives tech updates. That's how I get it. And I see it on my feed because their job is to print out articles and they print out comments. That's how I get up there. I'm like, oh, damn, that's crazy. Then I message my friend and we talk about it. That's receiving news. So I don't understand how you feel to give the argument. It sounds a little Ozil-like a little bit, like when he was making the comments about the people that were captured in West China and stuff like that was going on. But just don't play that game. Like, don't play that game if you clearly don't know what you're talking about. That's what sounds to me. You don't know what you're talking about, and you want to sound really, really cool.
And you don't.
You don't sound cool.
But the question is, can I name the episode Hector, 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 Hector?
Oh. I'm down for 4 Hectors, actually.
Okay, there we go. That's all I need.
No commas either.
Hell no.
Just
Hector,
all caps.
Hector.
Hector. All, damn, yeah. All caps is kind of hard.
Got to do it.